Okay. Hey guys, welcome back to episode 2 of Deep Sheets Hours. Or hour. I keep adding the S still. Um, so it is spooky season. It is October 10th. And it's currently 1:11 a.m. This episode might get posted up either maybe tomorrow or I'm thinking Monday. Um, honestly. Um, but today's episode, I I wanted to talk about my journey. Honestly, um, I think we all have been on a journey with ourselves, trying to discover and find ourselves. Um, I'm still trying to find myself. I'm trying to discover and get these things sorted out. Um, Cause honestly, like today, I was talking to myself like I'm doing right now, but like I honestly was like venting and like honestly I wish I was recording and just doing the podcast right there and then, cause I was like hitting some deep topics about myself or like pretty much just my journey growing up. It was it was really tough and I almost started crying a little bit, but then I didn't. Um, so basically, if you don't know, um, I used to be a fat kid, I guess you can say. Um, and I used to weigh probably it was actually over 300 pounds. And I was very young, like middle school, before middle school. Um, and I dropped all the weight when I want to say 11th grade year of high school, like in that summer before 11th grade. And I was like 180. Because I was still a big guy. I think I was still like 300 pounds, like 10th grade year, and I just came right back, like a new person, honestly. Um, it's honestly like been like a really tough struggle like all my life. And I like maybe I'm just like wanting to talk about it for people who like struggle like with a similar situation where it's just like um I guess like how can I say this? Like I have a bit of an eating disorder. I struggle with body dysmorphia where I constantly see something wrong with my body and I want to change it. Um, if that makes sense. I will get like very depressed over it. Um, it's really bad. It's honestly bad. Um, I guess you could start, I guess like I can say the journey officially started when I did lose weight. Um, when I lost that weight, it was like my life changed. I was like a new person. People looked at me different. Um, like I was like known in high school before I lost the weight. Even in middle school, like I didn't fully get talked about because I'm like around like about my weight. Most of it came from home. Um, Not like my mom or anything. It's more like my brother. My brother used to call me like a pig, fat boy, a lot of like names, which is weird because like now it's like the role is kind of reversed where he um he gained weight and I lost weight. Um, Even though I think around that time he had a bit of an eating disorder himself. Because he used to literally just eat saltine crackers, and that's like what he ate in like a week, like his diet, which I don't blame him because I did a pistachio diet. Um, but I would say like it basically like a lot of the trauma came from like family members, like my uncle. I feel like he played a huge role in that. And just like other like family members, like when we go to these like events, like a wedding or like cookouts or just something like that, or like a birthday party. It was really hard um, being in that environment. Um, like my family wasn't horrible. It was just like when it came to like me like eating, it was like something like, oh, something was always said, which was like, I guess like that's one of the reasons why I struggle with eating now. Um, so basically, when I lost my weight, I cut off people. I cut off my family. Now, that sounds weird, like, oh, you live with family. I didn't, well, like I said, the problem wasn't with my mom or my brother at the time. He was going through his, like, weight gain, if you think about it. So he wasn't calling me, like, a pig or anything at this time. And it was summer. I stayed indoors. I didn't talk to any of my high school friends because I cut most of them off because I had issues with someone and I chose to not to speak to them and I cut them off and they always hung around that person, so eventually I just cut all of them off too, just to make it easier for myself because I didn't want to be associated with that energy. And basically, I guess to this day, I associate cutting people off with weight loss because when I cut people off, I have a change, if that makes sense. Um, so around this time, it was summer. Um, I didn't like go outside. I stood to myself. I started actually working out ish. It starts with the basics, honestly. My mom had this workout video. If you don't know what it is, it's called Hip Hop Abs. At the time, this was like back in 2013. Oh my god, I used to really fuck with that shit. I'll be real. I used to be going there. I did it day. Every day of the summer, I drank hella water. My appetite was gone. My appetite was completely gone. Like I used to eat probably probably like once or twice a day. Um, I used to have this like I wouldn't say like a concoction, but it was like what was it? It was like I used to get a can of mixed fruit. Well, it wasn't mixed fruit. It was like it was called tropical mixed fruit, I guess. And make sure it doesn't have the sugars, cause we were trying to be healthy. We still healthy to this day, but we'll get like a Yoplait yogurt, not like the big bulky ones of Yoplait yogurt. Like get the small ones that is like portion size, and then like I'll add this fiber granola, like not like the sweet granola. It was like very bland, very bland. But I mean, it was fine in my yogurt and fruit. And I used to eat that either once or twice a day, honestly. That's all I ate. And, or I didn't eat anything at all. Honestly, my meals were like very small at that time. Um, um, I guess, after the summer, I, yeah, it was like 180. It's weird because I had to go reshop for uniform clothes. I went to a uniform school. So it's weird when you go from a waist size of like a 44 and your new waist size is a 34 and you go from wearing shirt sizes that were like 2, 3 XLs and now you wear a medium. It was like a huge shocker. Everyone was really shocked. But with all that shock, there comes still the haters that hated on you when you were a fat kid. Um, what was it? So, I when I did lose weight, people that did talk about my weight, they said that I had liposuction over the summer, or like this even ties into the person I wasn't even speaking to at the time, or even my own mom. She thought I was on drugs. She thought I was on drugs, because I lost weight very rapidly. Um, it was, it was, it was a huge shocker. People thought I had an eating disorder, which honestly, now it's not like a huge shocker if I have an eating disorder. Because, oh my god, I eat like one meal a day or none. It's mainly like when I'm depressed, which I guess you can say I was depressed all that summer. I would say depression is like, and cutting off people is like key to like losing like a good amount of weight. It's like unhealthy way to lose weight, but I would say it's efficient. But I don't promote like that. I mean, I do it for myself sometimes, but I don't promote like starving yourself. Um, it's unhealthy because eventually you do gain that weight back over time, because you don't have any good control over your food or like your portion sizes. But I would say like when I got back to school, as soon as I walk in, people were like, "Oh my God, you lost so much weight." And I sat at this table and I was like by myself because of course I cut off all those friends, and they sit at my table and they just look at me and whisper, and they get closer. They come more closer down the table because these tables were long. And they was like, "Hey," it's like I would like look at them and then kind of like look away because the vibe. I was like, and they were just like trying to get me to talk to them, and they was like, "You lost so much weight, like what happened?" or something like that. And eventually I did speak to them because we had classes together, sadly. And then I ended up working with them later on during the summer. But eventually I think those same people, yeah, I worked with them. Those were also the same people that got me to join the track team, because coming with being a big kid and getting small, people were like, "Oh, you're athletic." So they wanted me to join the track team, which I did condition. And I guess you could technically say I was on the track team for like 2-3 weeks, but I got sick and I never got my physical in. But like I ran, I ran. It was different because I'm not used to it. It was like you want me to run this lap? Like I ran laps in gym class, but I wasn't good at it. So like you have to think like you want me to run this whole field. This whole field, like I only been skinny for a few months. And you want me to run all this multiple times. Like, okay. And I was technically on the team to do the shot put, where you like push this metal ball, but like I trained with all the other players or for those 3 weeks. And then like I'll break off and like with one of the coaches, and like they'll teach me how to throw it or push it off, which is, it wasn't bad, but I kind of wish I did kind of stick with it. But I was sick, and later that semester, people wanted me to condition for football. People always wanted me to play football all my life because I was like a huge guy, and they was like, "Oh, you'll be a good defender." But now I was slim. It was like, okay, well, I probably can't be a defender, but I can be something else. So like they used to have me in the weight room and stuff, which was like, it was different. Very different. But I didn't stick with it either. I did conditioning for 2 weeks. But it was just like people really started treating me different once I lost all that weight, because like you get people that were like, "Oh, I always had a crush on you." Like it's like, is that so? Like, okay. Like I would say I do have like a best friend, and um she actually used to like me um before I was fat. I mean, before I was skinny, my bad. Before I was skinny, um I wouldn't even say I was skinny. I was really small. But yeah, she used to like me, and then we just end up just being really good friends. Um Still friends to this day, honestly. But it was very different, because definitely after um like being in like an adult world, like graduating from high school, it definitely hit different, because I'm in this adult world with this like new body that I'm still not used to. Um, how do I like go about this? Like, I just feel like people sexualize me like a lot, and like my confidence wasn't good, because I still have this fat person personality, or like I don't know what I can do, like I don't know my extents as like like who I can date, who I can talk to. Am I like, do I look good like in this outfit? Like it was really like a different thing. But yeah, I used to get like I used to get sexually assaulted at work multiple times. Um, like this man, he like grabbed my ass while I was at work. Back when I was working at Target, and I didn't say anything to like the job, but it was very awkward. I had people offer me money for sex, threesomes, wrestle with them in mud in my underwear. Just some crazy stuff. Like they wouldn't ask me that if I was like still a fat kid. They wouldn't even look at me, but they was looking at me then. Um, College like started off really weird. Like not really weird. Like it was good, but like I guess like I wouldn't say like I was like my first year. I'm gonna say my first year, because after my first year I gained weight. So yeah, my first year of college, I gained weight. But let me start with the other things so I can work my way to that. People would like look at me a lot in college. Not necessarily like, oh, like I'm good looking and stuff like that. Like I guess I'm decent. I'm decent. And I was very slim. I started off college very slim. I hung out with my friends, which were all girls, and like when we walked around going to class, or like trying to chill, or in the cafeteria or outside, we'll get looks, and people will like look at us, but like not in like a bad way. Like they'll look at us like in a good way, but like I don't know, like it always felt odd, because like they'll whisper and look at us, and like half of them were like, I don't know if they thought like I was dating them, or um it was like a very odd situation. So like I'm gonna be honest, like weird shit used to happen. Like this dude, he like offered to buy me lunch or stuff like that. Like we came to a conclusion that we were just like exotic looking, maybe like people just aren't used to us. Like, not saying like, oh, we're black. Like, I mean, like, yeah, I'm black, my friend's black, the other girl's black, and then the other one's Hispanic. But I mean, there was like other black people at the school, and there's like white people, like multiple races. So it's not like a race thing, but it was just like, it was a weird situation, and like it kind of like messed with me mentally a little bit, as in like people staring at me for like like it made me more self-conscious than I was, because I know people are looking and judging at me. So I don't like it when people look at me for a long period of time. And like it fucked with me on how I dress and when I like leave the house. So I go through like multiple outfits before I leave the house. Like then and currently, because I'm scared people will like, I don't know, judge me. I don't know. And it's more like if I look good, or because now I like, do I look fat in this outfit or something like that? And like everyone gets so annoyed with it. I send a picture to my mom, send a picture to my brother, send a picture to my best friend. They're all fucking done, honestly. But like, it's so hard. It's so hard being me. I'm playing. But back to like after that year, I gained weight. You know, like they say, freshman 15. Mine was like a freshman 30. Because the school cafeteria, like at my first college, they used to have these, like really, like these nice sized pizzas. Or like they used to have these huge cookies. And like I used to get that like all the time, you know. Or like you have to think about it, like I'm a college student, I got my first job, or like my second job, sort of, and I'm busy. I used to have my 3 hour classes. Well, yeah, I had a 3 hour long class. I used to have those all the time, along with probably like another hour class after that. And then I'll go to work and work full time. I used to work an 8 hour shift, and I used to do that all in a day, and I wouldn't get home until I got off work at 11. I used to start my day at 10 p.m. or no, probably like 9 or 8. And I go to these classes, and I have to be at work at 3. And I got off at 11. And I'd be so exhausted. And then, like, I'm not going to go home and, like, cook and, like, make something healthy. I said healthy. Healthy. No, I'm going to order a pizza, you know? Like, bitch, I used to stay at Domino's. Because it was like, I got money now. Like, I can do this by myself. Like, I'm buying my own meals. And, that was bad. It was bad. Because definitely I would say when I gained weight again, I got really depressed. Really depressed. Because I guess you could say before I had this friend, which actually she was in my last video, which is called Confronting My Ex-Best Friend. And basically, before we stopped being friends, I was, of course, in the process of gaining weight. She would say like these like little remarks. There's 2 that I remember specifically. So when I got in the car one time, it was either going to the mall or going to the gym. She said, "You look bigger," or like, and she was like, not in like weight, but like in height. And I was so confused. I was so confused. Like, I felt really attacked. Like, I didn't think about it too much back then, but like honestly, it didn't hit me until like probably like months after we stopped being friends. or something, and I was like, that shady bitch. Cause this was another time. We was at the mall, and I was like going to go get some cookies from this store, this cookie shop, whatever. I love cookies. Cookies are my go-to dessert. Um, some would call me the Cookie Monster. Um, but yeah, I'm obsessed with cookies. But she was like, maybe you should like slow down on buying cookies. You're always like worried about your weight and thighs or something like that. It was around those lines, and that like oh my god, that really like fucked with me because it brought me back to what my uncle used to say. My uncle used to comment on what I ate and stuff all the time, and maybe I should have took that as a sign, as like, oh my god, like I'm reverting back to my old, I probably am like gaining weight, or like I'm getting fat or something like that. And that didn't click. I was like, oh, my uncle used to say stuff like that all the time, like around like when we met up and for like holidays or just like having dinners and stuff, and it was really bad. Um, but after that, of course I had to get more clothes, and of course like I had to get like, it's like when you have to pick up an extra large, that's when I knew like things gotta change. Like I think my waist went. Oh, when I was in high school, my waist is a 36. My waist currently is a 36. That is my natural size because I have an ass and thighs. But like at the time, I had to go back to like a 40 or a 38, and my t-shirts were extra large, and that's when I was like really depressed. And I was like, um, my grades started failing. I said my grades started failing. My grades were dropping. Um, and I eventually got kicked out of college because my GPA dropped. Because I was depressed. I didn't have anyone to talk to because I cut my friends off again. um, it was very hard. That whole like semester I took off before I enrolled at the current college I'm at now. I didn't know what I wanted to do anymore. I was lost. I was like, I just got kicked out of school. I'm fat again. Not like completely fat, but like probably like 250. And I was like crying. Well, I didn't cry, but I was like a empty shell because at this time I was on the verge of thinking about like suicide because I was very, I don't know, like I didn't know what I wanted to do anymore. Like I felt like I didn't have any goals. And I felt like it mainly just revolved around my weight because I felt like I didn't have anything going for myself if I wasn't thin. And I guess you could say I still kind of have that aspect because me wanting to be on social media, or like me originally wanting to be an actor, but now just want to do other things, my look is what I like, that's what I need because people, I mean, I don't know. I mean, people can love me for my personality, like, but it's like getting to a point where, oh, like I have a gap, so now I got aligners coming in 2 weeks, which I'm gonna be filming a video for that. I got aligners coming. I'm just like, I have this thing where I have to fix it because I know I'm not gonna be perfect, but I want to be like, at least like approachable and like do this for like a living, or I don't know. There's a lot of things I have to do. Like with my career, I'm in school for photography and graphic design. They're gonna hire me for my look also. Yeah, my portfolio, but my look too. So it's just a lot. But back when I was saying like think about suicide because I was like getting fat and shit. And I mean, I guess it wasn't just being fat, but like school, work. I was working all the time. I literally I used to sit in my room. I didn't eat and just listen to music. Um, and then I discovered, well, I wouldn't say I discovered, but I used to discover this site called YouNow, and I used to watch this girl, and honestly, she like motivated me to like get back in, like she revived my soul. And I used to watch her like religiously after work or in the middle of the night or whatever. And like eventually I I still didn't eat for real. But I started working out. I eventually went vegan for a month. But this is where I guess you could say my eating disorder actually kicks in. I was vegan, but I was I was I didn't eat if that makes sense. When I ate it was vegan. Hi, but it was more like here's a salad or here's a vegetarian pizza or make some sweet potatoes and like that was it. But it was like I ate that one thing and that was it. So this was before I turned 21, but I used to ask my mom to give me alcohol, like Four Locos or something like that. So it got to a point where I only ate. Let's go with this story. My mom and my brother, they went out of town to California for like a whole week, and I got to stay at the house for myself. Before she left, I asked her to get me some Four Locos for the week, and this one specific day, I had only an orange that day, but I drank probably two Four Locos. I went live on YouNow, which is the site that I was on. I FaceTimed my friend, and I was doing both at the same time, and I threw up, and I like blacked out. When I woke up, I fell asleep in the living room. There was throw up on the couch, on the carpet, and on my dog. And it was orange because all I had was that orange. It got to a point where after I like cleaned all that stuff up, but like yeah, I cleaned my dog. I had to wash my dog, clean the carpet, blah blah blah. But that was like it came into a routine. Definitely when I hit no, actually, I wasn't 21 yet. Here we go. I went out of town for a week in West Virginia to see my cousin. His girlfriend was 21, so of course she bought alcohol, and as college students are, it's a party all the time. Um, I used to not eat. This is where it really used to really kick in, my eating disorder. I honestly used to eat like some trail mix, like a day. I got to a point where I eat like some trail mix or I eat like something small, blah blah. I know like he's gonna watch this podcast and be like, yeah, that did happen. But like first thing, I didn't eat that whole ride there, nothing. First thing I do when I get there, I have a Jello shot. Have a Jello shot. And then we went on this boat because it was his birthday. We went on this boat, had some more Jello shots. There was pizza, but I didn't eat any pizza because I would say I was like the fattest one there. I wasn't like really fat at the time, but like I was like in the process of losing weight still again. But I was like probably like the most unfit person there because on this boat contained athletes, basketball players, um, and I was just trying to not be nervous and stuff. And of course, I did eat later. We went to a hibachi grill where they cook like food in front of you and blah blah blah. But later, we went to a party and I got drunk. Went to a house. I was drunk and high. I was self-conscious. I was nervous. I was in this room with attractive. Not I wouldn't say attractive. Actually, take that back. But like, athletic people, and like even the girls there, like they wasn't like athletes. I don't think so, but they were fit. And I was just like, I felt out of place. So like I was just throwing some drinks back. Eventually, I don't remember what happened. Honestly, I remember sitting on a couch or like a chair and laughing, and then like I just don't remember anything after that. Me drinking when I wasn't eating much at all anymore. I was um I threw up or I blacked out, I guess. Like I don't black out much, but like I blacked out that week. That whole week we drank every day. We drank every day, and each day I didn't eat that much. I threw up a few times because, of course, I didn't have anything in my stomach. I blacked out multiple times, and I had lots of leftovers because I wasn't eating. I did end up binging on one of the days because I didn't want to bring all that food home. So that was a thing. But it was, I would say that's like when my eating disorder was very prominent and where it started being a thing, because after that, I think I was vegetarian or no, I was vegetarian. So I started at this new school, and basically, I guess like I still had this fat person mind, but I did not eat really anything while I was at the school my first semester, because in this college, they don't really have vegetarian options too much. They have soup, they have salads, and they have like I guess like oh I can eat fries, sure, but like that's like it. And I used to just eat salads religiously with some fruit and fries. Um, but it just got weird because like that's all I ate. My roommates used to be like, are you okay? Like you don't eat. And I was like, yeah. And it was like, why did you choose to be like vegetarian? I was like, for like health and body reasons. And they used to like always nitpick with me a little bit because they was like you're not fat. And I was like, oh well, thank you. Like thank you that you think that way. And like I used to like stare at my body a lot in the mirror at that time. And I was like, I used to send pictures of like my body, not like of course like my stomach and like collarbones, and like you can like my collarbones used to stick out a lot. I was like oh yeah, maybe I am like losing weight and stuff. I went back to being pescatarian. And then, because school, like, they used to have fish. They don't really have too much fish here now. But, after, like, that semester, because I knew I was thin. I was, like, in a tank. I was, like, okay, we out here. I'm carefree. We loosen up with the food a little bit, even though we were still having these, like, restrictions. I went to go see my friends for a week, and they notice. They notice when I'm not eating that much. They always notice, which is why I love them so much, because it shows that they're paying attention. When I stayed with them for that week, I didn't eat that much the entire time I was there, but I had no problem picking up some alcohol. It's like, oh yeah, let's get some Angry Orchards, let's get some vodka, and like, all I had that day was like 3 spicy potato soft tacos from Taco Bell, and like, it was like, that's all I had. And let's fast forward probably like some months later. Actually, we're just gonna fast forward up in like a year later. We hang out again. We go to Pride and stuff. And my friends are like excited. They're excited that like when we hang out, I'm eating with them. Because they said to me, I'm used to, like, we never actually see you eat. And it's like we don't, and like we're glad that like you're eating around us, or like you're eating now, because we noticed that you wasn't eating. And it's like, because they knew me since I was like in 5th grade. They knew I was a fat kid. They see me as a fat kid, and they was like, you're not chunky like that anymore. It's like, you, like, we're proud of you, like you got, like, you slimmed down a lot. And honestly, it was just like, it made me feel like better. And it was like, but like, you have to remember, you're not that person anymore. And like, it really made me feel good about myself. But like, I would say like, like you, but like now it's like, I got comfortable with like, again, and like, I was like eating things I probably shouldn't have, and then I gained weight again. So I wouldn't say like too much though, not too much. So we're fast forwarding up until like now. This has been a long journey, and like, honestly, this journey has been up until I was 15/16, up until now, which I am 23. Um, um, I I would say like I gain a little bit of weight, I guess, or like, but I don't eat that much. So like, my weight, I don't fluctuate in weight too much. But like, I guess in a more way, I need to tone. But like, I still struggle to eat. I mainly don't eat when I'm depressed, which recently I was depressed a few months ago. And I wanted to kill myself again. Yeah. I didn't cry. I don't cry when I'm like depressed. I haven't cried since I was 20. If I'm being real with you. I haven't cried in 3 years. That's bonkers. I haven't cried. I cried watching 13th Reason Why in the season 3 of Degrassi. Because it involved someone wanting to kill themselves, and I related. And they both, at the end, they attempted to get help for their problems, but at the end, no one really cared. And they still did what they did. the girl, Degrassi, she didn't die. She overdosed on drugs and she was in the hospital, and then but like the day she did it, she pretended it was a normal day. She was happy, and she had her drugs. She wrote a song, she posted it, and she overdosed on the roof. And that was like it. I mean, she ended up in the hospital, but if people wasn't there, she would have been dead. I'm sure everyone has watched 13th Reason Why by now, at least the first season, because that's all I watched. The girl, she attempted to get help from the counselor. The counselor didn't really care too much, or he was too busy. But at the same day, because she went home and slit her wrists in the bathtub, and it was too late. That was the last times I cried, and I related. But when I get in these depressive states, I don't eat anything, and it got to a point where my mom, she started crying because she sometimes get depressed, and she wished that I wasn't like that. She prayed that I would never be like that. And it just makes her feel that sad. Which, like, she cries for me because I don't cry at all. You know, it's like she sees that I don't eat, I'm thinning. Like, there was a time where she was like, you're literally like bones. I always thought, I was like, oh, she's not used to me looking at me this way. I was like a walking shell. I was an actor. I pretended everything was fine, and closed doors, it just wasn't. And then some days I just looked like I wasn't fine. My face looked hollowed out. Honestly, I didn't eat. I was very depressed, sad boy. To say that was a few months ago, and here I am again, still struggling, but I'm better-ish until it comes to relationships, and then I feel like I'm not good enough. Where I feel like I'm not good enough if I was to talk to someone that's very attractive or like very athletic, even though I feel like maybe that would be good for me. Like, maybe they'll take me to the gym and like they can help me balance out this thing I've been struggling with all my life. And it's like, that's a weird way to look at it, because then you're depending on someone else, and it doesn't work like that. But I can't see myself dating someone who's bigger than me. Like, no offense, but it's like, I feel like I'm gonna revert to my old ways. People talk to me and be like, oh, I just want someone who's gonna get fat with me and cuddle. And I'm like, bitch, I was fat most of my life. You think I really was? That sounded like very aggressive. But I was fat like all my life, and I've been struggling to lose weight. It was like, I'm not trying to like go back in that state and be like, oh, it's fine. It's fine. Like, no, we can eat, cuddle, and then go to the gym. Like, that's how I'm like looking at it. Like, it's hard for me. And like, that's what, like, I can date someone that's like, or talk to like someone that's like average, and it's fine, sort of, but I get bored. So it's honestly, my life is like a struggle. It is an struggle, and I just feel like I won't be happy until I sort out my mess, and I can't date anyone until my mess is struggled. I mean, my mess is struggled, or my mess is like fixed. But I really want to date someone. I feel like how like I've been serious, and then I'm like, oh. But like it all comes full circle. I'm just like, whoever I end up with, it's a lot of baggage. It's a lot of baggage. Because I actually tried dating someone, and I was like, I have all these walls. And I tried letting these walls down, and I was like slowly letting these walls down, but the other person wasn't letting down their walls. And so I was like, okay, well, this isn't going to work because I'm not really a therapist to other people, because me talking to people about their problems helps me sort out my problems. And the fact that I was the only one talking about my problems, it wasn't working. It wasn't working because I'm not used to that. I don't like talking about myself. I fix myself by helping other people fix themselves. And they were not willing. I mean, it life is hard for me. Honestly, it is. Like, I mean, if you know a person that's willing to like carry emotional baggage, you know, feel free to reach me in my DMs on Instagram or on Twitter at DrexstarX. But no, I mean, I'm low key serious. Cause Tinder ain't it these days. And like I don't really like go on Tinder to be actively like looking for people, but I mean, it's fun to swipe on when I'm going to bed. Um but I just wanted to share like my journey. Maybe like me talking about this is like helping me sort out my issues, because I mean it does. I do it to myself. I mean I vent to myself every night, so maybe me venting on here will help someone with their problems. I guess this wasn't like the best episode. I mean, for like the start of October. Like it's spooky season. I don't know. I mean, we'll see what we make. I know I'm gonna make another episode this month. Is it spooky related? We don't know, but I think am gonna probably end the podcast right now. And sort out some things. Um, so yeah, if you haven't already, uh, subscribe to the channel. We're gonna start having guests on these podcasts potentially, and also more regular videos to come. Um, we're actually probably gonna have another guest on the Confront series, confronting like person from my past potentially. But yeah, um, feel free to subscribe and follow all my social medias. Everything is DrexstarX. See you guys next time.